When you woke up, how did you feel anticipating what was going to happen today, and that you were going to divulge a lot of personal and intimate details about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very long process of, a few years ago thinking I'll never come out to telling my family and friends, and then after telling my family and friends saying, okay, this is enough, I don't need to let anyone else into my life because it's my life, and then, feeling that, okay, I need to share this, that the chapter's not closed, and so when I did that, I thought that was enough. I posted that and didn't think, okay, I'll do any interviews. And just from all the support I've had from people and stories that I've heard, I thought, okay, this would be great to really reach people and to tell my story and to try to help people. And so when we decided to do the interview, when we talked, I was a bit nervous. Last night a bit nervous, but also just eager to kind of just get it done, get it all out there. And just kind of move on with it and move on with the whole process.
And did this morning seem while you were talking and listening to yourself talking, did it seem?
Yeah. I mean, it gets easier the more you talk about it, and just hoping that you're sharing your emotions, sharing your experiences in a way that will touch people and reach people, and will I keep saying, be positive. Because you don't want people take what you're saying and twist and turn, and because that's not the point of this. It's not at all. So,
as I said in your statement, which you put on your website, one line jumped out at me. Honestly, it's such a bitch, but life becomes simple and much more clear.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've said to you before, but sometimes it's so hard to be honest, just even about simple things. But at least for me, when I told my family, back in October, November, it just made life so simple. You're just taking all the bullshit away, everything away, and you're just totally yourself, and they know exactly where you stand. And in return, like I told you, they have to be the same with you, because you're putting yourself out there, you're risking so much. So it's not easy, to be honest. It sounds like such a simple thing, honesty, but it's hard to come to terms with yourself, and just knowing that it doesn't matter if people don't agree with you or don't, aren't happy with, who you are, as long as you're honest and you're trying to be a good person and giving, I don't know, if you're being genuine and authentic, that's all that really matters.
And in a way, did you feel it was hard coming out initially to people you loved the most, because obviously their opinion matters huge?
It matters most. I mean, those were the people that was really all that mattered, was their opinion. It was really scary. And, we've talked about my background and just the whole process, but I just didn't know what the reaction was going to be. I didn't know if they would just kind of be speechless, if they would, be like, what, when did this happen? Or if they would just be, and the way they were was amazing. They were just like, we love you, we don't care. Come on. So.
You said you spoke first to your eldest sister.
Yes.
Who's a bit of the alpha male of the family.
Yeah. She's like, I wish you would have said that, Robbie. Yes, she is a very strong character, and I told her, she was just so supportive, and we talked, for the next few weeks, just straight every day about what I've been going through, and she's been amazing. I mean, everyone in my family's been amazing, but yes, I felt like I don't know why I felt most comfortable to tell her first. I guess everyone, when they come out, when they have difficult situations, they just feel like they do things on their own terms, and they feel comfortable doing things as it comes. And for her, she really, really helped me. So she is an alpha male.
Your childhood sounds not idyllic, but a close-knit family, Sunkist, California.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was a good start to life that you had.
Definitely. I come from an amazing family. I think people would look at my family and be like, "Wow, would you feel like you wouldn't be able to tell them?" But a Catholic conservative, from Southern California, big family, very loving. So I guess those things actually make it more difficult because you have so much love, and obviously, the Catholic Church believes one thing, and most conservatives believe one thing. So, wait, I'm something else. And because you've had so much love in your life, you're afraid, okay, what if I am now totally honest? What is that going to disappear? And how am I going to cope without that? So.
You spoke movingly about how different you always felt. As a young boy, you had this sensation of that you were slightly apart, not the same as your peers, not even the same as your family. Could you just talk a little bit more about that feeling?
Yeah, so growing up, I've known I was gay since I was 14, or I don't know, 13 to 15, somewhere there. I knew I was different when I was even younger than that. So it was tough. I think it's tough for kids growing up, period. Obviously, school and getting to know people and, going through weird stages of your life. So then you just add being gay on top of that. It's just oh shit. That's tough. So, like I said again, my background, going to Catholic school, being in church and being around my family, I just felt like I don't know, this could be a problem, Obviously it isn't, but growing up you think it could be because you haven't been exposed to it, you don't know people that have come out with the same situation. So I always just felt really different, and it really just weighed on me. So when I was able to come out, I just felt oh gosh, thank you.
But it was weird also because you, as you said this morning, you were the cool soccer dude. A lot of attention with the girls.
Yeah, it's just as an athlete, I think if you're an athlete and you're successful, you get attention there, and if when girls are interested in you and you're doing well in sports and I don't know, it's just difficult. Some people can kind of hide and I guess I was able to hide behind football, but I was able to hide behind football, but then also football was tough because I was afraid to be myself. I know it was a tough situation. I was afraid to be myself. I was always afraid that people were going to find out who I was, but then I love football, and football helped me, hide my identity. So, if that makes sense.
And could you explain a little bit about how you fell for football? Because obviously it's a game that captivated you at an early age.
I love football since I was young. Playing football from I was 4 or 5 years old. Always had a football at my feet. Playing in the house, my mom used to kill me. Playing outside all the time with my brother, training, playing games, training in between, kicking the ball up and down the driveway nonstop off the walls. So football was my life. On the weekends, football just it consumed me. So I love it, and I'll always love it. I'll always follow it. I'll always be a big fan. Like I said to you, I haven't closed the doors of football. Maybe I'll feel like I want to go back. Maybe that will be in a few weeks. Maybe it'll be in a few years. Maybe I'll just be a fan. But football has been such a big part of my life, and it's been so special to me. It's helped me meet the most amazing people in the world, and travel and live in different countries, and to support myself. But it's an industry that has a lot of things need to, I guess, change, and there's a lot of problems with it as well. From sketchy agents to the homophobic culture to just a lot of stuff. So,
as you explained this morning, you could not have made your statement and came out if you were still playing football.
I felt that way. Who knows, because no one's done it. But yeah, I definitely felt that way. I felt like I needed to step away, take some time to myself, to my family, and take it. It's weird. Take away from the spotlight, but not really. You're putting yourself again in the spotlight because you are being honest with people, and because no one's done it. Obviously it's gonna grab attention. but I didn't feel like I could. You know, I told you, like, I don't feel like I could have done that, and then just walked into Leeds the next day, and just been. I would have been so
How do
scared.
you anticipate? What do you think other footballers at Leeds, for example, where you were playing for Leeds, how would they have been?
I don't know. I mean, they've been awesome. They've been sending me messages and supporting me, but it just would have been just so scary just for me just to go in the next day and just be like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, everything cool? Let's just go to training. It's just, I just don't, no one's done it. So I just, I didn't know what to expect, and I just wanted to be like, all right, I'm just going to take a step back.
And as we said further, if you've been playing for Leeds and you were away to a club like, say, Millwall, for example, you can anticipate the abuse.
Of course. And of course that would be tough because, it's one thing when you hear about it, you can laugh and joke with your friends. But when you hear it from people that it can be quite malicious, it changes things. And in the past, like when I was playing football and going to stadiums where people are saying bad things about you, your family, you're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter, they don't know me, they're just trying to get under your skin. But when they do know who you are and then they take a shot at you, it becomes a little bit more personal, and I don't know how I would have reacted to that. Not sure. So it's definitely played a part.
You spoke with a lot of affection about other footballers and your teammates and how well you got on with many footballers, but you also spoke about the culture of football that coaches would sometimes say, don't pass the ball like a fan.
Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of people about how footballers aren't homophobic, or at least the ones I've come across. It's very much that pack mentality, and saying things to make your buddies laugh in the banter in locker rooms or changing rooms, and coaches saying things I think to be kind of like funny and to get along with the players. So of course, again, there are times you hear it sounds malicious, and that's when you're like, excuse me, like you don't say it, but in your head you're like, huh, it's a bit weird. But after hearing so many comments, that's what makes you think, okay, yeah, I'm right, I can't come out. And you hear all of these comments, and a lot are joking, some, like again, sound a bit of an attack. So but again, it's just that pack mentality, guys saying things to please each other.
Because as you said, when you one-to-one with a player, you
Yeah.
felt that there was another life to that player.
Of course.
And you would have been able to come out to them, possibly, except if you had not had to go back the next day into the pack.
Situation. I have a lot of my friends are footballers, so obviously when you get guys on their own, I think in any industry you're able to open up with them and talk to them about the stuff outside of football.
Sure.
And a lot of footballers, like I've said, are very special people because it takes a lot to become a professional athlete. Anyone that's good at what they do has a unique set of skills that separates them. And footballers are unique people. So when you get them away from that pack, that wolf pack, they're very special people, caring people. Obviously I can't speak for all of them, but most of the ones that I've come across, they caring and sensitive and very interesting people with different layers. Now when they get into that football culture, it's like they all turn into the same person almost. And I'm not trying to stereotype, but you hear stories about footballers and how we're all partiers, or we're all spending money and hooking up with all these girls, and it's like, well, obviously not, I'm gay, so.
But as you said, you enjoyed kidding about, and you were part of the squad.
Yeah.
But there must have been such lonely moments, because when comments are being made, you just would have to turn away.
Yeah, turn away, think about something else.
But wounding inside for you.
Yeah, I mean, of course, because it was wounding. You can obviously see, because I'm 25 now, I'm just coming out, Yeah, definitely. And it took me a while to be like 100%, just cool with myself because of the comments you hear, because of the way, the Catholic Church is, I guess, because how you're supposed to be if you're conservative, and you have these stereotypes in your head, and even though you're not any of those, you still sometimes try to live up to those. And so you're like, okay, well, like as a footballer growing up, I'm like, okay, I know I'm gay, but no, I can't be this way because I'm a footballer. I need to live like these other footballers. I need to play this role. So I became a great actor. Or at least I thought I was, I don't know.
And I mean, the whole point about acting, when we spoke about, are there any other gay footballers that you know? You said you thought carefully and you could not think.
Couldn't think of one. No. I've sat down with friends and can't think of one single footballer that I could think that was gay.
But obviously we know there have been many gay footballers.
Tons. I mean, footballers dress, I'm just kidding, dress really well. No, I can't think of one. And I've had tons of support from footballers. All my friends have sent me messages, but no one's said, "Hey, Robbie, like I'm so happy you did this because I'm actually gay as well." No one said that, so it's gonna take more time.
So although people have seem overwhelmingly positive towards you coming out, clearly you, having been immersed in football, you just feel it would be impossible for a gay footballer to play at the moment.
I don't know because no one's done it, and I'm not in a place to do that at this moment. But I know growing up it would have been difficult for me, opportunity-wise. I think playing football when I was younger, and I don't know actually, but looking at it and seeing would I have the same opportunities? Would I have had the opportunities to go to Olympics, to go to the University of Maryland and play with the youth national teams, and would everyone be cool with that? I don't know because no one's done it, but just from my experience and just dealing with homophobia, not just in football, but just society, it just felt like it wasn't possible. I felt like it wasn't possible.
But did you feel, you spoke earlier about a sense of peace, and you said, well, I hope that doesn't sound cliched, but it didn't, because you actually felt so at ease with yourself.
Yeah, and I feel at ease with myself now. Like even when I talk to you now, I think if we were talking about other stuff, it's like, just different topics, it'd be a little bit more difficult, but this is because I've come to terms with myself and with my faith and with my purpose, with my family and friends. Just feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like this is like I said, like I'm at peace. My purpose is to really, kill the stereotype and break down barriers and just talk with people. And I don't know, it's taken a while, but I'm happy I'm at this point.
Did you feel any sadness that you've had to give up football, at least for now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll always love football, and I still support my friends. I'll watch the U.S. game today, and it's weird. Yeah, a little bit sad, but then there's so many things that I'm so happy about that just kind of just takes that away. I'm more happy that I can be authentic and genuine with my family and just share all my feelings with my family. That football is football. It's just what I was doing. What I enjoyed. Of course, I loved it, but it didn't run me. It didn't take over my life. It didn't make who I was. So I'll support football, and if I feel like I need to go back, I'll go back. But I'll enjoy also just being open with my friends and family.
But it's been a whirlwind sort of 5 or 6 months, because you said back in, say, September, October, you weren't even actually thinking of coming out at that point.
No, sorry. So I've been thinking about it for probably a year, or maybe a little bit less than that, but didn't know when or how or any of that. 2 years ago, I was there's no chance. Like, I'm gonna play football, hopefully till I'm 35. If we go to a World Cup, do all that stuff. So it's crazy how life changes. I mean, no way 2 years ago would I ever see myself sitting down and speaking with you for The Guardian, like, never. But your time changes and you grow as a person and you learn about yourself and, discover things. And I'm just so happy that I feel comfortable to do this, because now looking back at it, I was like, Robbie, you were nuts. You were nuts to think that you could not be honest with people and not be open with people, that you could live a life that was just so secretive and just so unhealthy.
But you said it was about 6 months ago that you spoke.
Yes. It was I think like October when I told my sister. and I just felt like, hey, Rob, you have to do something. You just can't be one of those people that like thinks about things and is complaining yourself. You have to be someone that like changes things, and I just knew that I had to do something. I knew I had to make a change. I knew even if it took me away from football, if it took me away from whatever, I needed to be honest with my family and friends. First off, my family, which was like we said, like my base, people that have loved me my whole life and supported me and didn't care if I was a footballer or didn't care what I was doing, but just that they cared if I was happy. So, I was really afraid to tell them, obviously. I told them when I was 25. But when I told them, every single one of them was just so happy for me. So happy for me that I've come to, we use this word again, but just a peace with myself, to come to terms with myself, and that, the next time that they saw me, because I haven't seen my family yet, I'll see them in April, when I go back home. When they see me, they'll be like, oh, it's Robbie. Like, this is him. This is, him totally honest and open, and I'm excited to go home.
And as you said, it's amazing how it just, with you being so honest, it makes people honest back to you, and that's been a positive thing that people just
challenges people. If you're willing to throw yourself out there and be totally honest and share, your deepest secret, then they can't hold anything back, and they have to question their lives and their relationships, and they just have to be open with you, because they've seen, and I've never thought about it this way, but they've seen what you've done, and they've seen how courageous you've been. And even though I didn't feel like it was a courageous thing, I felt more it was like very subtly, I need to do this or I'm going to go insane and I'm just not happy. But they think of it as, it's very courageous. So, this is my brother, this is my good friend. I deserve it to him to be that way.
Can you talk about that night when you sat on your bed in the dark, you had the laptop on the bed?
Yeah,
you decided just for yourself, perhaps. Although you said you kept a journal. But this was the first time you actually put words down.
Yeah. I mean, I've kept a journal, and actually it's weird. When I was until probably a year ago, I wouldn't even write the word gay in my journal, just in case. What if someone found it? I didn't even thought about that. That's a weird one. But yeah, so I was sitting in my room. It was late one night, and was writing it, thinking, just maybe I'd use it as therapy, or maybe someday I would post it, or I didn't even think that. I just thought, I'm gonna write this, and put it on my desktop, left it for a few months. Very much was reflecting on past feelings, because obviously I'd already told my family at that point, but very much reflecting just my life, and writing it thinking, oh my gosh, this is probably the worst piece of writing, if I did post it, that everyone would ever read. And so I sat there for a while, and I did send it to my little sister. I told you that. I said to my little sister, and she was like, yeah, it's cool, Robbie, what are you going to do with it, whatever. And I was like, I'm just going to leave it. So we just continued on. And it just sat on my desktop for a while, or my laptop for a while, and one day, I talked to my friends about, hey, should I post something, should I not, should I do an interview, should I just leave it? And they just said, either do it or stop talking about it because we're annoyed at you. Stop. So I was sitting in my apartment one day, I think it was 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and I was hanging out with my buddies. He's a good friend of mine. He's like, just do it or just don't do it. So did it. He was put it on my website and Facebook, whatever. Closed my laptop, turned off my phone. I talked to my mom this morning, and this is how far I was away from actually posting. I talked to my mom this morning and just about whatever. Didn't even mention to her because I didn't even think in a million years that I would post it that day. So I posted it.
When you hit that send button, you just think,
yeah, I did. I posted it, and I was like, oh my gosh. All right, closed my laptop. I was we went to Short's house, had a bunch of drinks. I told you, had pizza, candy, had a bunch of drinks, got pretty drunk, and then the next
day. But you had a feeling of liberty.
Yes, I did. I was all right. My friend was kind of following on Twitter, but he's oh my gosh, this is kind of going nuts. But I was just it doesn't matter now. It's out, and it doesn't matter if people like it, don't like it. It's at least I'm done. I'm done. So I was just at that point ready to move on. The next day I went and ran the half marathon, in Brighton. So I was
Good
just
time?
gonna
Did you?
no, not great. I did like an hour 28. So okay, I wanted to do under an hour and a half, but I didn't train for it really. But it was.
So
a
while
good
you were feeling a
experience.
bit of pain then with another 10-mile mark, were you thinking
10
about
mile mark,
what you'd
yeah.
just done the night before?
When I finished, I was like, wow, awesome. Like I'm totally out. I finished this marathon. It was for a good cause. Like it was sunny down at the beach. Like it was like it's
And
like
the
a great
hangover
start.
had sort of eased.
Yeah, I was just like whatever. I'm not a big drinker, but I've never been a person to have a hangover either. So hey, I'm a little blessed in that way. No, but it's just like what a great start. Then I went back and I think I had did I have men's health. I'm not sure. I forgot what I did that week, but I felt really good about it. Of course, I felt like a little nervous. Okay, now everyone was reaching out to you, and people are like your friends, but not great friends, are like, oh, I read your thing and whatever, and oh my gosh. So again, you had to confront a lot of people, and I felt bad that my friends were being hounded by reporters, but it was, I told you it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, for me to come to terms with myself, to tell my parents, family, friends, and then the second best to be able to share this letter with the world, I guess. So.
And people have just been so warm.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
And now your future is open-ended. You've got many options. Can you just talk a little bit about the things you might like to do?
I mean, again, I haven't closed the door on football. We'll see. I don't care if people want me to go back to football, don't want me to go back to football. I'll go back to football if and when I'm ready. If I feel like I want to do it, that's what I'll do. But obviously I have my brand Halsey in LA that I've been working with for the past 3 years, and it's going to be an exciting summer. And I got accepted to London College of Fashion for a menswear program, so I'll decide this summer if that's what I'll do. I've been writing for the past 3-4 months for Bella magazine, which is cool because it's not a great writer, but it's helped me just express myself and write about things that I'm interested in. I have the Ralph Lauren meeting next Monday to possibly do a campaign for them, and
Which must be hugely exciting for you.
yeah, exciting. But I don't have I don't know. I'm one of those people that's like, oh, it's exciting, but once it's set, I guess as a footballer, you learn okay, not until you sign a contract or you actually do something is it set. You know what I mean? So you go, you meet people, and if something happens, awesome. If not, it's a great experience just to meet them. So there's a bunch of different things I've thought about, doing other projects, the charity event for Nike. This weekend I'm going to the Albert Kennedy Trust.
Which
a little party. It's to benefit kids that are, gay, lesbians, a bunch of just kids that have struggled, that maybe have been abandoned by their families. So that's stuff that I'm really interested in. I'm really interested in especially speaking with younger people that, are struggling because they don't have anyone really to talk to.
Because before you came out, there's been only one other gay footballer in
Yeah.
England who came out, Justin Fashanu,
True.
who did not have the benefit of a close-knit family.
No.
His mother and father gave him up at a young age. Did you know a lot about what happened to Justin?
I mean, I know a little bit about his story. No, I didn't know. I don't know too much about him or his family. I just know that obviously he killed himself. I know that obviously he was a footballer, and that he was gay, and that people kind of just rejected it, and that he had just a rough life. Obviously times have changed, and they will continue to change. I think hopefully now that I've come out, maybe more footballers, even if they need to step away as well, that maybe more footballers might come out, and it might come to a point where they've come out and now they feel like, hey, I can play. It's going to be a progression. It's not going to just be overnight. It's not going to be, oh, I'm out and I'm going to play and just set the world. It's just, and maybe someone can do that in a few years or soon, but it's tough, and you can't set those expectations on people. We're very sensitive. We're human, and we can't it's tough.
But again, just the way Justin came out, it didn't I don't think he felt in control
Yeah.
of his.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's something that I very much wanted to. I wanted to be in control. I wanted to be able to speak who I wanted to speak with. You know, obviously I told you, people offered me money and opportunities to these interviews and TV things, and it just didn't interest me at all. What I was interested in is to share a story that hopefully would touch people in a positive way, that people that were in my situation could watch or read and be like, okay, cool, like this guy is just down to earth, this guy loves football, that does other things, and I just wanted to be in control, to be able to speak with someone that I wanted to speak with, that I could work with them on the story, that they weren't trying to create a headline that would sell papers or sell, or that would just spark this giant media. I don't know. It just was like, that's just disgusting, because it's our personal lives. It's not a way just to make money or I don't know. I think some people were like, oh, we're going to take this guy and we're going to use him for PR to sell our product. And it's like, no, that's awful. Like that's disgusting. And it's like, how much does your soul cost, or how much is your integrity? And that's what you have. That's all. So it was very important to me to just kind of take time after I did this, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to even make a post, was because I thought it would be too crazy. But that's why I turned my phone off and closed my laptop, so that people couldn't get a hold of me.
But now you seem at ease, and as you spoke about, it's important for you that you can speak on behalf of people, and it's not going to be a burden for you to be someone who's a spokesman, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's easy for me to talk about now because I've talked to people now, and I've opened up to people, and just from the positive feedback I've had from people, you're like, okay, like, this is okay. People are touched by the story. They're touched by you as a person, not just being gay, but maybe like I would call myself a Christian, I would call myself a footballer, I'm a surfer, I'm a designer, I'm gay, it's like all these different things that people can just relate to little pieces, maybe.
And they all coexist together.
Yeah, they all coexist together, so it's like, well, like, what is this dude? He's not a stereotype, he's not in a box, we can't throw him in this box because, then he's gonna go hang out with his gay dog, or he's gonna go hike, or so. I guess what am I a spokesperson for? Yes, I am gay. I'm a footballer, but I'm just a person that hopefully can share a story that people can relate to.
But it would have helped you when you were 13 and 14 in terms of your sexuality, if there had been an equivalent figure to you as you are now.
Oh, definitely. That's tough. I mean, I remember, I don't know who asked me the question, but they asked me, like, what would you tell the 10-year-old or 15-year-old version of yourself? And and I think I might have told you, I was like, I wouldn't have told him anything. I would let him do exactly what he did, because I'm at this point in my life, because of all of the experience I've had. But also, it would have been great to have someone to look up to be like, oh wait, but he's a really cool guy. He's not saying that I am, but he's a really cool guy that I can relate to. That's loves football, but does these other things as well, and is honest with himself. Is just open and honest with himself. So maybe. Maybe even if I would have had it at that point when I was younger, it wouldn't have changed. But at least to know that at least someone is doing it, someone's trying to do it, that might have made a big difference. But who knows? Because no one's done it.
You've had some wonderful times as a footballer, obviously, Beijing, and you spoke a little bit to me about at Leeds, when Leeds played Arsenal. You're a huge Arsenal fan. Yeah. Can you just talk a little bit about that guy? You didn't actually come on.
No, I didn't. So I wasn't cleared to play, but I was on the bench. Simon Grayson was the manager. He's the one that brought me to Leeds. He was like, yeah, we'd love for you to come down and just sit on the bench and just start to get used to the team, and obviously with the team in the hotel and getting to know the guys. So yeah, Leeds fans probably won't be happy that I say this, but I obviously played against Henry before, Thierry Henry, and played it with. He was at the Showdown, the Steve Nash, charity game that we have in New York, and I saw him there, and I told him, hey, I was at that game that you that you scored against Leeds, where you like knocked us out of the cup, and obviously I was really mad that you knocked us out, but I was so happy for you because you showed so much emotion in your face, and you were like, it was such a classic Henry goal, like he just slots it to the side, and just like his movement and everything was just so beautiful, and the emotion at Emirates and just being on the bench and being being a Leeds bench, but being an Arsenal fan was touching. So football it's such an amazing sport, and it moves people in so many ways. It's such a great release. So for me, it was so positive. And then I guess negative as well. So it was a weird balance.
Because as you said, when you first started following Arsenal, they had that wonderful team. And you spoke about one particular player who Arsenal would need now in midfield, such an enforcer. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just talking a little bit about how he played, and then he would debunk sort of stereotypes that he was just a hard man.
Yeah, I mean, so I like I said to you, I've always been an Arsenal fan. And the way they play is very beautiful, very artistic and creative. But and I talked about like Vieira, like when we were talking about football, and how he played was he was so hard and tackled the crap out of guys. Then he'd like get the ball, put it through someone's legs, cut another guy and make a beautiful pass. And it was like the balance of Arsenal then of hard football, but then creative. I don't know, beautiful technical football. That's what really grabbed my attention. And hey, maybe it was, I don't know. I haven't thought about this until now. Maybe because I'm gay. Maybe you have both sides. You're just this man that plays football and is tough, but then you also have that creative side to you that is attracted to art and design and beauty. And not saying that straight men aren't, because obviously they are, but maybe you're more open to it, I guess. I'm not sure.
There's even a football context, putting aside sexuality.
Yeah.
I guess if you went on a Monday morning and said to the other guys in the team, you went to a subtitled movie, or you went to an art exhibition, they'd just take the piss out of you.
Probably joke with me, and that's funny. And they might even be like, oh, Californian, like weirdo. So yeah, I mean, there definitely is like, that banter in the locker room through joking, and at times it gets, or it would get, not directed at me, but would be, you hear footballers say things that would be a bit homophobic, even though I know that they're not homophobic people, and it's very much like we said, that pack mentality. So that was difficult. That was something that weighed in my stomach and my gut and on my back. That was just like a heavy weight. So that was tough.
In football terms, you said as a US international, you have been steeped in diverse cultures because you had Hispanic, obviously Mexican players who played the game in a particular way. Then the white guys were, you said, often perceived to be the hard-working guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's the U.S. is interesting. I think, I said that the U.S. I think is going to be a great force when it comes to football in the next 10, 15 years because we have, the Latino background with the Mexicans and South Americans that have moved to the U.S. that are technical and pass the ball and very creative, and then a lot of Americans that are very fit and strong and very passionate, hard workers and are getting better technically, and then you still have the Europeans as well over there. So once we build really that football culture and have that history, I think the U.S. is going to be a great footballing nation. So I grew up in California with a lot of Mexicans, and I've always enjoyed playing with Mexicans. I've always enjoyed the Mexican culture, anything from the food to just the people. They're very family oriented, awesome people. So I think with my football, it was a weird mix, and then moving to Holland when I was younger, and living in Florida with the national team, moving from Maryland, living in Columbus, and then Leeds, and London, and traveling all over the world. Like, you know, I went to South Africa, I talked to you about, and going to Beijing and all that stuff. It's really helped open my eyes to the world and open my eyes to just how different people are, but then how similar we are as well.
You said quite an illuminating thing today, that we spoke about the difficulties of coming out in England as a gay footballer. But I think I asked the question, could you have come out anywhere else? In Holland, in the US?
No.
And you just felt unequivocally it would have been impossible.
I feel that way, and I know people are saying, "Oh, look, all the support. Like you could do it. You can go back." But obviously, no one has done it, and no one has done it now, and so obviously there is a problem. You know, I don't want to scare anyone, but you know, obviously, football culture is a bit homophobic, I guess, because. Well, I don't know why, but it just is. But no, I felt with myself that I needed to step away, and for a few reasons. One, I didn't want to deal with the media craziness, even though I kind of am, but at least I can do it on my own terms. Two, I don't want to have to go in the locker room every day and, you know, have that weirdness. And I don't know if there would be weirdness because like, just no one's done it, you know, because I keep saying that, like, I just don't know, you know. But then going to hostile environments where people are calling you, you know, weird things that, you know, they just are yelling at you, that they're just being crazy. But so yeah, I felt like I couldn't do it within football. I felt like I needed to.
And even a society like the Netherlands, which is perceived to be
no,
open,
I mean,
it just again wouldn't.
No, I don't. Yeah, I at least just with me, I feel like still football needs to grow up in that way.
But it's not only football.
No, it's not. No, I mean, like one of my friends, Josie Altidore, you know, I've known him since we were young. You know, he recently in Holland had like racist slur. Again, this is Holland. I lived in Holland. Amazing people, so liberal, so open. But then in the stadium, they're yelling that kind of stuff at him. Or I've heard about it in Russia. I've heard about it in Spain. I've heard about it all over England. So it's just like, what's wrong with football? You know, what are we playing at? You know, because it's such an amazing sport. And it's not just football. It's a lot of sports. But like, what's the problem? You know,
because in US sports as well, we know how deep-seated homophobic culture is.
Yeah,
it's obviously based on fear, I guess.
Yeah, based on fear, based on people not being exposed. I think it's based on exposure. You know, people think that all gay people are, you know, shooting glitter out of their hands and going nuts and wearing leotards and have tiaras on, I guess. I don't know what people think, but actually a lot of gay people that I know, you don't even know that they're gay. And even now when I go to a gay bar, people are like, wait, you're gay? I'm like, yes. I'm like, wait, like really? I'm like, yeah. Like, yes, I am. I know. Like, there's a stereotype that people want to set on you, and it's just not true.
But as we were talking earlier, we said in the 80s, black footballers, there was this myth that when winter came, cold started to bite, they would disappear. Things that change now. I think black footballers are accepted, obviously.
Of course.
Does that give you some semblance of hope?
I think, no, I know it will change. I know that you know, there'll be gay footballers, no doubt. I just don't know when. I don't know how long it will take. You know, that's the next step. The next step is, okay, how do you create an atmosphere where men and women feel that it's okay to come out and play, you know, to come out and to continue to play and to be themselves. It's a great question, you know. And football is there's so much history. So it's like, okay, what kind of changes do you make, but you still want to keep it the same because it's such a great sport. It's just so much culture, and you know, the fans love their tradition. So it's a tough one, but I'm positive that slowly that there'll be changes.